Hello, 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 Facebook family and future YouTube and Instagram families also. Since we are recording, we don't know who's going to be able to connect to us. But it's good to see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I will get to the right part of the day sooner than later. We are waiting for some people to come on board. Thanks, Ann, and thanks, Karen, for reaching out and letting us know you won't be able to make it. We really appreciate your support. We know that's not something you need to do or have to do, but we appreciate it. Especially letting us know, because after a while, you become connected and you get used to people, So thank you for reaching out and letting us know that. Tamika, I think that's Tamika I see. Hello, cuz. Hope everything's going well. We're waiting for a couple more people to come on board. I like to 6:59. I'm going to start the jokes a little early because I know there's a lot of clamor and I know there's been a lot of anticipation and people have been waiting all day to hear these world famous jokes. So we're going to start with the jokes, and the first one is, hey there, Alec, I see you. The first one is, I got comments, so now it's great. This is great because we were going to try something else if the comments weren't working. So I got comments, so this is great. So Laga Vista is in the house. So the first joke is, where does Medusa go when she visits Arizona? Where does Medusa go when she visits Arizona? I feel like doing that little, what's that show? Where does Medusa go when she visits Arizona? She goes to the petrified forest. The petrified forest. My wife didn't laugh. You get it? She looks at people and they turn to stone. Never mind. I guess I get an F on that one. So the next one. Alex says she has no clue. What do you use to catch a school of fish? What do you use to catch a school of fish? Anyone? Shar? No? You use bookworms. To catch a school of fish, you use bookworms. She said a hook, line, and sinker. Mine was better. Bookworms. And the last one, 701, the last one. Where do rabbits go to medical school? Where do rabbits... Alec liked the bookworms. She liked that one. Where do rabbits go to medical school? Anybody? No?
Shay and Alex are watching.
Shay, hello. I'm going to say it one more time. Where do rabbits go to medical school? They go to Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins. They go to Johns Hopkins. So to me, that was the best one of the three. I got a little bit of a grin from my wife. It's a hard room, boy. I don't know how comedians do it. They get up there, they stand in front of all these strangers, and they just rattle them off. Anyway, I'm definitely in the right business for me. So anyway, that's the jokes for today. Hopefully that lightens your day up a little bit. Today, we got a great session. It's called 1440. Time is on our side. So, hey, Antoinette. Hey, Shay. Congratulations, Antoinette. Congratulations. So, anyway, thanks for joining us today, everybody. And those that see us in the future, looking at recordings, we really appreciate your support. This stuff is fun. The idea in the mind that becomes a creation, and you working it through. Hi, Mom and Dad. Hello. You might have missed the jokes, but you can catch it on the repeat. But I just wanted to tell you, just in case you don't know who I am, I'm Curtis Carr. I've been in leadership for over 30 years and a training capacity for over 15. My wife and I, we're the leaders of this company. She's been a business analyst and a project manager for over 10 years. She's also runs her own business currently for over 8 years. I'm the founder of E.L.E.V.A.T.E. E.L.E.V.A.T.E is equipping leaders of tomorrow. The E is expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperaments, and effectiveness. So I call that the Bentley of business training. Basically, that's about a 9-hour course where we take people through different areas of leadership, whether it be development or holding people accountable or understanding the importance of the attitude or temperament training or how to be effective. We hit it all. We hit it all in that program. And then our leadership, I said before, is comprised of my wife and I. A couple of housekeeping things. We come on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. every week. We are a consulting agency. So basically, hello, Aunt Stephanie. Hello, 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 hello. We are a consulting agency. Who are we here for? We're for individuals that want personal or help with their business. We're for the people that are new leaders or existing leaders that are looking to get a little bit more effective. We're for the business owners that are out there that are looking for to really scale their business and hope to be what you call independent business, which is probably the most challenging thing, which is the most challenging thing for an owner to become. And then we're for the leaders and employers out there that are just looking for somebody to come in and do some training with their people. So, and that's more like the E.L.E.V.A.T.E program. We have seminars, we have one-on-ones. But how do we do it? We start off by doing questionnaires and we do assessments. We really want to help you get to where you want to be. We need you to put the work in, though. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. We can guide, but you gotta put the work in. There's some work into it. So if you want to get there, we can help you get there. We have two new offerings. One is a temperament assessment, and it's a temperament assessment test, and it also gives you a profile. So you go in, you fill it out, and it'll shoot you a profile. Actually, it won't shoot it to you. You'll click a button, and it'll be right there on the screen what your profile is. Very excited about that. My wife is going to be putting some links on. Hey, Daryl, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. So the temperament assessment is one, and then we're also doing the group coaching, which is another. And the group coaching is really for those that, really two people, people that have done the private coaching and maybe even the platinum coaching, but want to continue. So it's almost like a monthly partnership with us where we'll do group coaching. It won't just be you by yourself, but we'll be on a Zoom call, and we'll be connected to you from the beginning to the end. Then we also have this also for another group, and those are the people that maybe the platinum or maybe the private coaching is a little bit out of their reach right now, but they want to get involved. They want to make a commitment and to growth. So we got that for that group of people. So temperament assessment is kind of like what we're highlighting today, and then also the group coaching. So I'm so happy that these. So Daryl's in Vegas. So how did you find time? What are y'all getting dressed to go somewhere else, and you're waiting on your wife? That's what it is, right? You're waiting on your wife. You're like, well, let me get on this conference call. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. One of the things I got to do here is the question today: are you ready for the cooler weather? Are you ready? Let's hear some comments there. Are we ready for the cooler weather? Myself, I am. If it stays like in the 70s, I love it. But I'm one of those guys that I'd rather have heat than freeze. So definitely let us know if you can put on the strand if you're ready for the cooler weather. Yes, no, I don't know, I don't care. Whatever you want to put down. Are you ready for the cooler weather? You see the link there that she put down for the group coaching. So we conduct these Facebook Lives, and we really depend on your comments. Really appreciate those that get on. I know there's a ton of stuff to do in this world. I know you can clip your toenails if you want to instead of watch this conference call. So I'm very appreciative of those that get on. And nope, I like to let it stay hot. Sorry, Tamika said she rather stay hot. Yeah. So we end promptly at 7:30. We're already at 7:08. This thing moves. This is probably the fastest 30 minutes in the world. This seems like I look up and it's like 30 minutes are gone. So today we're going to discuss, and I definitely want to say I try to read every comment. Today we're going to discuss 1,440. Time is on our side. 1,440. Time is on our side. And the reason I entitled this title is because there's 1,440 minutes in a day. There's 1,440 minutes in a day. And when you really start trying to crank out dreams and you really start trying to reach reach your goals, it's going to be a day-to-day battle. You're going to be, you're going to be looking at those minutes. I remember just being in different businesses, and they would teach us to look for pennies. Don't always look for dollars. So when you're out here trying to reach these dreams, you got to look for minutes sometime, because time is of the essence. And then the reason I say time is on our side is because you're in the land of the living. If you're in the land of the living, time is on your side. The people that are in the graveyard, time is not on their side. So there's hope for you. There's a Jewish saying. It's one of my favorite Jewish saying. It says, "A live dog is better than a dead lion." A live dog is better than a dead lion. And when you think about the Jews and how they felt about dogs, the Jews hated dogs. They used to call people that were mixed. If you were Jewish and mixed with something else, they would call you a dog. There was a lot of nationalism. They were very proud people. Remember, they're saying they're the people of God. So they were very proud about who they were. So to say a live dog is better than a dead lion, you need to understand how they felt about lions. Lion was symbolic of deity, of holiness, so when they said, hey, even though it's holy, even though it's godlike, it's better to be alive in a dog than it is to be dead in a lion. So, because the lion does not have hope. There's no more time left. And so basically, there's three things I want to make sure that we go over. And it's really things that you must believe if you really want to make best use of your time. Because remember, 1,440 minutes in a day. So I heard Stephanie said, however, no freezing. So Tamika, I didn't hear anything from Shay. Shay must have ran off. She came in and then she stepped away for a second or something. But my dad said they're very, very ready. So the three things we must believe if we want to make best use of our time. We must believe we have time to grow. And this is something that I'm telling you, this is a battle, right? Whether it be physical fitness, reading books, education in general, eating right. We always say we're too busy, and one of the things, if you really want to make an impact and you really want to make best use of your time, you first got to believe that you do have time, and it's really the only wise choice to make is to make sure you believe that you do have time for growth. So, because if you don't focus on growth, other things will creep in, right? Things that are pleasure, that are fun, things that are probably, like you see a lot of people, they're focused on how they look, maybe a little bit too much. There's nothing wrong with focusing on how you look, but you can do anything to excess. Some of it's materialism out there. Some people are real focused on what they got and getting more of it. It's nothing wrong with getting stuff, but if the way you can tell is if you're not growing, but you have an extreme focus on all these other areas, then that's how you can tell that maybe you're a little off on your ratios here. I'm watching on my TV. I can't comment from it. Okay. She heard that. Okay. All right. So basically, remember I said, how do we know what it's basically when you're not growing in those three areas. I call them the top three. It's what we're all struggling. We're all fighting. We're all trying to get these three areas together. And and I believe if we all look, we'll see that very few of us have these three areas together. And that's relationship, finances, and health. You'll know somebody that they're great in relationships, but a lot of times they're struggling in their finances and they're struggling in their health, or they're great in their health, but their money ain't right and they have no friends or something. But it's hard to find people that have all three together. And that's the money, the friendships, the relationships. And I put in there vertical and horizontal relationships. Your vertical relationship with whoever you believe is God, and then your horizontal relationships with your fellow human beings, and then your health. So looking down that road, the people that are very successful, they make use of their time. They are very mindful of their time. They have no problem saying no, because they know that to do something else means I'm not going to do the other thing, because there's only so much time. So it could be as simple as I choose to do this X, so I miss out on sleep. Or I choose to do Y and I don't read like I'm supposed to. Or I choose to do Z and now I'm rushed and I don't eat right. So the people that are very successful, they really maximize their time. If you look at the interviews of Olympic athletes, I love watching them because they are they operate at a whole nother level. But I also like looking at top salespeople too. I remember they did a time and motion survey where they just followed around the top salespeople. They just followed them around and watched what they did with their time, what they did with their motions. And they said the only difference between the top, the average, and the bottom was they just spent more time focusing on sales. Think about the people that that are in top shape. They just spent more time working out. So you must believe you have time for growth. All right. We got some ones out there. Anybody hear what I'm saying? Do you like it? You don't like it? Give me some feedback. Kind of quiet out there today. I see you fancy. Oh, I see it. Shar commented on Shay. Said, I see you fancy. So basically, the second thing that I want to highlight in that first section, we must believe we have time for growth, is there's tools out there that are very simple. Big Daddy Kane, Alex Hamilton. I guess, I need to talk to Alex and find out if he's tired of me calling him Big Daddy Kane, because I guess he don't even have a box haircut anymore. We call him Big Daddy Kane because he had a haircut like this, a box haircut. And I've been calling him Big Daddy Kane my whole life. I've known him ever since I was like in 9th or 10th grade. So, and now I guess I just need to call him Alex. But it's good to have you on, Alex. I appreciate you. I can't always see when somebody gets on. I see when they put comments down. So I appreciate you. And if I miss anybody, please just throw some comments down and I'll see you. So the other thing I want to highlight, as far as there's tools out there for you to use your time effectively, there's a thing called a time log, where you just kind of write down what you do when you wake up and what you do throughout the day. You just write it down. And then you can do what you call an Eisenhower box. It's named after President Eisenhower, but basically just picture a box. And that box divided into 4 sections. And then in that box, you have the first box would be do. The next box would be decide. The third box would be delegate. And the fourth box would be delete. And when you're looking for time, you put stuff in the boxes. You decide what you're going to do, stuff that you need to do right now. The decide means that you're going to schedule a time for it. Delegate means, okay, who can I get to do it? And then fourth is, hey, eliminate it, delete it, get that stuff out of there. But if you actually put a pen and paper to your day, you will see that you have a lot of time, How many times have you went to the grocery store 3 times and still forgot something? Every time you went and you forgot something, you got back in the car and you went over there. By that time, you could have read 5-6 pages in a book. You could have did probably 30-40 push-ups, whatever the case may be. But the Eisenhower box, the time log are very simple approaches to really open your eyes to the time you have. So if anybody's heard of the Eisenhower box, that'd be interesting to hear. If anybody heard of the Eisenhower box before, if you have, put a 1 down. If you haven't, put a 2 down. It's always good to hear from you guys. You guys are kind of quiet today, so I got a 1 there. Another 1. Okay, that's great. That's great. Very simple, but very effective. I love the simple, effective stuff. I ain't into all the stuff that's foo-foo. I like simple, effective stuff. But anyway, the next thing, the thing that you have to believe is really 3 things you need to believe. But the second thing you need to believe is that you have something priceless to contribute to this world. You really need to believe that. You have something priceless to contribute. And one of my favorite quotes, I read this quote, man, I think this is when I first decided to start reading books. It's almost embarrassing because I was like, my father used to tell me all the time, you need to read, you need to read. Well, after I had messed up, banged my head against the wall, messing up, I had no other options then I started to read. I was like, well, I don't know what else to do. I guess I better start reading some books because that's all I knew. Because I just remember him telling me, you need to read, you need to read. So this is one of the first things I read. I was like 20, probably 22, 23 years old with 3 kids, taking care of a sister-in-law in a bad marriage. And it was just one of those things where I started reading to try to straighten things out. And the guy said, and it's Les Brown's quote, but he says, the graveyard is the richest place on earth because it's here that you'll find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step, keep with the problem, or determined to carry out their dream. The graveyard. Very powerful quote. So you just must believe that you have something powerful to contribute. So, and if you're not sure what your gift is, it's so simple. You know, when I hear people say, well, I'm not sure what I want to do, the first thing that tells me is that you haven't put forth the effort and you haven't been exposed. So you can pick up books after books, whatever really touches that passion aside. You can hang out with people that you're intrigued with and you can start learning. You know, like I remember one of my attorney friends was saying, hey, you know, I always tell people that say they want to be an attorney, hang out with me one day. Because the first thing they need to like is reading. So if you want to be an attorney because you've been watching TV and you like the way that showmanship, that's okay. That's okay to like that. But just make sure you like reading too, because an attorney reads a lot. So at the end of the day, hanging out with somebody that you believe is something that you're interested in is a powerful way. I always tell people, and if you're in the other stage of life where you've done things and you're accomplished and you're kind of, you know, at that mature stage or season stage, then volunteer for some organizations like you believe in. I don't know, kind of like, I guess like E.L.E.V.A.T.E. E.L.E.V.A.T.E's a great program to volunteer for. We would love some volunteers. So people, it doesn't matter which stage you are. You're at the stage where you don't know what to do, or you're at the stage where you're seasoned and you know, there's always something you can contribute that's of value. So, but whatever you do, the key is to keep moving. So, the key is to keep moving. And I love quotes, and people that know me know I love quotes. Hell, we wrote a quote book. So one of my favorite quotes is, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. And that's the key. Until you leave this earth, you got to keep moving. And you got something to give. Like when I retire from corporate America, I'm not going to retire. Uh-oh. So we had a little technical difficulty. See, when you're trying to, you start saying something important, boy, the phone cut off. But anyway, the quote is a very powerful quote, but just keep moving. That's the key. Keep moving. Keep moving. Because eventually you're going to run into something good. So you keep moving. But one of the things that I wanted to share was that one of the best things that happened to me when I was at that stage in my life where I had the 3 kids and I was trying to figure things out and I just started reading, I volunteered for this church. I was a volunteer in the ministry, and just hanging around people that were more successful than I was, that were better communicators than I was. They were better problem solvers. They were better negotiators. I got a chance to rub noses with them, to hear them talk, to hear what they were talking about. And that was an awesome opportunity, because if you're hard-headed like I was and you didn't listen to your parents like you should have, you're going to have to listen to somebody. So I got a chance to do that for years. And it basically, all it did was confirm basically what my parents said, that I was too hard-headed to do. So very, very important, you know. The third thing you must believe is that it is our responsibility to figure out and continue to develop that gift that you have. If you want to use your time effectively, it's very important that you take ownership and that you believe it's your responsibility to develop it and to figure out what it is. If you don't know what it is, you got to figure it out. If you don't, you know, maybe you try one thing and it's not quite it, and you try something else, and it might be a blend of the 2 things that you like. You never know, but you got to keep moving, and it's your responsibility to figure it out. So I know, and this is just me talking, I know that there will be a lot less backbiting. There'll be a lot less bullying, gossiping, depression, crime. I don't know if y'all heard that big bang. That's a little man playing basketball out there. But crime, drug abuse, etc. if people really understood and had proper perspective of their life journey. You know, you got a bunch of people that are not focused, and that's when you have a lot of stuff going on. You know, that's when you have the murder and the mayhem. That's when you have a lot of broken families and stuff. When we're unified and understand our life journey, that's when you'll start seeing great things. And one of the greatest stories here in the 723, I'm making good time. And one thing I realized about making good time is try not to speak a book on a 30-minute conference call. So one of the things I really like to share with you guys is it's called The Story of the Black Belt. If you guys are still there, please put a 1. If you're still out there, please put a 1. And like and share. We need you to like and share also. If you're hearing some stuff and you're like, hey, if you hear some stuff you like, put on there, like it. And I see some out there, and then like and share it, because that's how that's how we get the word out. That's how we get the word out. And we're trying to get it out there. So is you getting comments on your side? I'm not seeing anything anymore. All right. So the story of the Black Belt is a very powerful story, and I'm going to read it. And it's not too long. It's about a page, and it's double space type, so it's pretty good. But this is a person that struggled with understanding what their journey was about, and at the end, they realized what their journey was about. So this is a powerful story. It says, picture a martial artist kneeling before the master sensei in a ceremony to receive a hard-earned black belt. After years of relentless training, the student has finally reached a pinnacle of achievement in the discipline. The sensei says, before granting the belt, you must pass one more test. That's what the sensei says. The student says, I'm ready. He's expecting maybe a final round of sparring. He says, you must answer the essential question. What is the true meaning of the black belt? He says, the end of my journey. A well-deserved reward for all my hard work. The sensei waits for a moment. Clearly, he's not satisfied. Finally, the sensei speaks. You're not ready yet for the black belt. Return in 1 year. He said 1 year. That's a long time. A year later, the student kneels again in front of the sensei. What is the true meaning of the black belt? The sensei said. He's a little bit more polished now. He's had a whole year to think about what he's going to say. He says, oh, it's a symbol of distinction and the highest achievement in our art. You know, he took all the me and my stuff out. He says it's a symbol of distinction and the highest achievement in our art. The sensei says nothing for many minutes, waiting. Clearly, he is not satisfied. Finally, he speaks and says, you're still not ready for the black belt. Return in 1 year. A year later, the student kneels once again in front of the sensei. This guy really wanted that black belt. And again, the sensei asks, what is the true meaning of the black belt? Then the student says, the black belt represents the beginning, the start of a never-ending journey of discipline, work, and the pursuit of an even higher standard. He says the black belt represents the beginning, the start of a never-ending journey of discipline, work, and the pursuit of an ever higher standard. Yes, you are now ready to receive the black belt and begin your work. And that's kind of how we look at the leadership program. It's the beginning, but you're going to get stronger in your disciplines. You're going to get stronger in what you're trying to accomplish as you go through these programs. But it's important that once you have these achievements, that you take responsibility to understand that you have something great to contribute. It's not over. It's something great to contribute. And you still have stuff you're going to learn. But that is the story of the black belt. If you got anything out of that, please like and share. Please like and share. What is our number? I think we've gotten, we always set a goal like 20 like and shares. I think the most we've gotten is like 10 or 8 or 9 or something like that. Yeah. We do pretty good on the comments. We really appreciate that. But if we can get a few more likes and shares, we would love it. And so basically, if you want to make great use of your time, if you want to make great use of the time, that 1,440 minutes that you're given every single day, the first thing you must believe is that you have time for growth. You have time for growth. You got to make it. You got to make it happen. Number 2, you must believe you have something priceless to contribute. Number 3, you must believe it's your responsibility to figure it out and develop it. Those are the 3 things. Those are the 3 things. So I definitely want to thank everybody for participating. Thank everybody for being out there. Please like and share. We're going to post links for the temperament assessment again, and also for the group coaching. There's a lot in there. I mean, there's a lot in there. If there's something that you're trying to do, we can help you get there. The next Facebook 5, the next 5, I always give you 5. The next 5 Facebook lives. The next one is to micromanage or not. That is the question. To micromanage or not. That is the question. The next one is the 3 P's. What your supervisor wants you to know that will increase your income. What your supervisor wants you to know that will increase your income. What is the opposite of a victim is the one after that. What is the opposite of a victim? This is like one of my favorite ones right there. Dealing with disappointment is right after that. Dealing with disappointment. All right. So if you have any questions, email us, info@wemustelevate.com. It's 7:30. You know our little catchphrase, be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. Thank you guys. This is the fastest 30 minutes. It's the fastest 30 minutes right here. You guys have a great one.